All right, everybody, well, here we are. We've got this big one to fell today. This is kind of a special day for me, kind of a special project, actually, because this is the last 6 months or so I've been contract climbing, working for various tree companies, and this is actually the first job that I've ever done where I'm actually a fully insured LLC of my own. So it's kind of my first tree job, really. So it's exciting. It actually took me a really long time to find insurance. It was hard for me to find insurance. It was difficult for me because I was trying to find insurance that would cover me in all 50 states. And I finally did find insurance with a company called Arbor Risk in Wisconsin. Kevin Ham introduced me to them, but it was quite the process trying to find a plan like that. So I'm actually, but eventually I did find a plan that worked for me, but it took months. But anyways, so we're here. It's this big fir and I'm all legit and I'm gonna fall it. And I just wanted to share with you guys this because I was talking about my gear the other day. I was like, man, I should show this little kit. I actually kind of forgot about it. I bought this like 5 years ago or something, a long time ago. I bought it a while ago. I can't remember how much this stuff cost, but I'll put it in the description when I edit the video. I don't have any internet here. I can't look it up. But so I've got this huge fir. I don't know how tall it is. It's all of 150. It's big. And you can't really tell so much in the video. It's nothing crazy, but it does lean backwards. And I'll just show you the tree real quick. I mean, it's a huge fir, but there's a house right here. There's a chicken coop right there. It's, you know, I probably could get it to go over with wedges, but, you know, I'm like 90% sure, but it's like, I really don't want to smash the house. So just to be extra careful, I went up the tree, I climbed it to set the rope rather than the throw ball, just because with these firs, I feel like it's just safer. I can just really see the knot, you know that I got a good grab on it. I went and I tied it on about halfway up. I was tempted to go higher. The higher you go, the more lever you have, but I was like, ooh, this is pretty far away. I might run out of rope. And I'm glad I stopped about halfway up because I don't have a lot of rope left. This is a static line, which is better for pulling rope. It's August Hunnicke's kit. I got these two trees out here. This one is right between all these trees, so it's not a very direct shot. This one, if I pulled it that way, the house is right there. It hits the corner of the house. So I've got it just clipped to the tree right there. This is my rigging line. And then I'm gonna tie it off with the porter up over here. I'm actually gonna set this system up. It's like a 5-to-1 or something. I'm not too savvy on this stuff, but you know, it's called a Z-rig or something. Mechanical advantage, you use pulleys, you give yourself leverage. And this is a really good kit. It's really, I think it's pretty inexpensive, if I remember correctly. I mean, it's certainly cheaper than a GRCS or a winch or anything. And let me just set it up and I'll show you why I really like this, especially for working by yourself. All right, so the first things first, I need to tie a loop, something I can clip that system to. So I'm right here in the middle. You know, I showed you those two trees. I'm gonna tie the knot right in the middle. I'm gonna use a bowline on a bite. A lot of people use the alpine butterfly. I find it a little harder to undo, and actually I've broken one like that. I was using a winch, but I have broken alpine butterfly knot. But anyways, this is a midline bowline or bowline on a bite. It goes by a bunch of names. You just take a bite, a rope. This might look funky when I tie it, but once you get it, it's really easy to tie. And I'm just holding my thumb down. I twist it up. So I've got this like loop right there, you know? And I just take this part and I run it like back underneath this loop. And then I open this up and it drapes around the whole knot. And then when I tighten it, this is a bowline now. And it's really easy to break. No matter how much pressure I put on it, it just breaks right there, just like a regular bowline. I'll tie it one more time. Hopefully that's pretty clear. Bowline on a bite. Give yourself some slack. I always start with the thumb down, twist it up. Literally all you do is you just take this part, run it up, under, open this loop up, and this loop goes around. And you see it's now that loop is down here. And then I tighten it all up. And it just looks like that. I'm gonna go tighten that end up now. Yeah, so this end over here is just, it's just like a million wraps. And that's just, I don't know what you call that knot, but it's fine. It's a bunch of wraps. And now I've got my loop in the middle here. And like I said, you can see it's right between these two trees because this is my window right here. So let's set up this mechanical advantage kit up. All right, so here is my setup. This wasn't like a kit or anything. I just saw both these pulleys individually on westbear.com and I just bought both of them. I figured I could put them together and it works fine. So this is an Omni Block double, I don't know, double pulley. And, you know, it's just like an Omni Block, but it opens up on both sides. So that's the one pulley. This is some sort of ISC pulley. And this one doesn't open up the same way. You actually take the carabiner off. And this opens up. You'll see one side is a pulley. And this is where this thing is kind of special. When you open up this side, it's a pulley, but it's also got this cam. And this cam actually grabs the rope, so it tends to slack, so it holds the rope for you. So I'll be able to get this tightened up, then I'll be able to go and make my cut. And this is going to capture the progress. And it also has the ability to release the progress too. So set it up super easy. This is like an old crappy carabiner. The gate's broken, but it's just a chunk of steel. So I use it for this and it's fine, you know. It's still like the steel is really strong. I haven't set this up in a long time. I gotta think for a second. So, oh yeah, so first things first, when you set up the Z-rig, one end is gonna end up kind of in the air and the other end is gonna be by the base. And you always want this by the base because this is the one where the cam is, which you wanna have access to, because to, you know, undo the system, you have to be able to access this. And if you set this one over there, then it's gonna be stuck in the air and you're gonna have to cut your rope or something. So first, I'm gonna switch to my GoPro, so it's first person here. All right, so this is super easy to set up. First, I'm just gonna take this Omni Block, and I got a steel carabiner. I always use steel for rigging. It's just because it's stronger. We're gonna clip it right here. This might be a little funky because of the rig I got going up. It's gonna have a little bit of stretch. Ideally, you're just around the base of a tree, but working with what I got here. Now, this rope is gonna be like 5 legs or 4 legs or something going back and forth, so I can't set it too far up there because I actually need kind of a lot of rope for this system. So the idea is, yes, I'm only like halfway up the tree. It's such a tall tree. Any higher, I'd really be lacking rope here. So we're gonna go over here. Well, yeah, this should be, I don't know. I'm like 25 feet away. Let's just see how this works. I might have to redo this knot. I'm just gonna tie another bowline on a bite right here. All right, now we're gonna clip this right here. All right, so that's there. So we're gonna take this rope. I'm not really gonna explain mechanical advantage too much because I'm not quite smart enough to, but basically we're gonna put the rope in here, just like so. This is about 1/2 inch line, I think. And we're gonna run this up here. See, I'm already, look how close I am. Yeah, I'm gonna tie the knot further out. Because what's gonna happen is I'm gonna set it up, it's gonna look fine. When I get it really tight, those two are gonna meet with each other. And then if these two touch, then I can't pull anymore. I'm just gonna tie another knot a little higher. But yeah, pretty exciting. I'm insured now. I can do tree work in the lower 48 states. I have to work under tree companies insurance if I'm in Hawaii or Alaska, but you know, I can like fly to basically any state now or drive, cut a tree down and be insured. So I'm really excited about that. So that's set up. It's not set up, why did I say that? All right, here we are. So we're gonna pull this tight and we're gonna come over here. And every time we go back on the rope, every time we zigzag back and forth, we're adding rope to the system, meaning we have to pull more rope through, but we're gaining strength. So, okay. Now, because this cam is gonna grab the rope, we wanna run the rope through the cam side last. That way, the cam is holding as little pressure as possible. You know, because the further down the system you put the rope grab, the less pressure there is on the rope. So first I gotta undo this. This pulley actually kind of confuses me all the time. So that opens up. This is gonna go in here like this. All right, I'm gonna clip that back on. So the carabiner actually holds this thing together. All right. Make sure the rope is underneath this thing. It's really easy to set this up wrong. All right. And I'm already gaining mechanical advantage here. Looks like we're gonna have just enough rope, I think. I haven't set this up in like a long time. So this is already a really good mechanical advantage kit. We got a lot of pull. Only problem is I gotta cut the tree. I can't stand here and hold this forever. Dang, I might not have enough rope for this. You know what I'm gonna do? Oh, man, don't have enough rope. Oh, you know what I can do? Hold on. I can get more rope doing this. I think that static line is 200 feet long. I guess I wish it were a little longer for this, but I also could have used this rope up there because this one's 300 feet, but I like to pull it over with the static line. And get that loose. Okay, so now I bring this back. All right, so now here is the magic. I'm gonna open up this one, and this is going to run in it just like that. Close this up. This goes back in there. Okay, now you'll see this is engaged. So when I pull this, it's gonna go this way, but it's not gonna go that way. So it's gonna keep my slack. I gotta go tighten this thing back up. Oh, man, I hope this works. That'd be really awkward if it didn't. Okay, so in theory this should be a 5-to-1, meaning I should have the strength of 5 men, plus this is going to capture the progress. So I'll be able to get it really tight, go and make my cut, and it should all go great. Let's see. And see, this is gonna be in the air pretty soon. So I gotta make sure I'm kind of set up right because I'm gonna be able to reach it. Yeah, no, it'll be fine. All right, let's start pulling. Yeah, see, I can't even reach it now. And you always want this by the base because this is the one where the cam is, which you want to have access to. So better hope I got it set up right. I'm actually getting a lot of pull in this. All right, there it is. It's all holding. The 5-to-1 is set up. It might be a 4-to-1. Somebody's probably gonna correct me. I'm really not good at all this rope smart people stuff. I just know that this is really strong and I can walk away now. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go cut my notch, and then once I get that chunk of wood out of the front, I'll see if I can get a little tighter before I do my back cut. So see, I scribed a little line, just a little low in the back cut, so You know, I didn't cut deep because if you cut deep on your first go, then it messes up your wedge when you're trying to pound it. So this is really just in the bark, this line right here. All right, you see it's a fine line. It's like the more wood I cut, the more I can pull, but also the more likely it is to fall on me. So I cut a little bit into the back cut. There's loads of wood left, you know. It's just a little for a little peace of mind while I'm down there. Yeah, there's a lot of wood left, but all the same. So I'm gonna go down there, and this will be my last trip down here because once I get it tight this time, you know, I only want to walk under this thing so many times, you know. So I'm going to get it as tight as I can by myself. Keep in mind, I've got the strength of 5 men with the weights rigged up. And then I'm just going to be up the hill. And we're just going to be committed to it. So let's tighten that up a little more. Okay, so I actually moved it quite a bit. Just by myself, just getting that wood out of there. The tree's able to move a little bit. I actually did move it a few more feet. I see, and it's too high up, it's too late now, and I can't do anything about it. It's a little messy right here. I should have lined them up better before I tightened it all up, because I'm also fighting a little bit of friction where they're rubbing. But the friction's pretty insignificant when you consider the fact that it's, yeah, I think it's 4 or 5 to 1. I don't know. There are 4 legs of rope there. 1 there, I don't know how it works, honestly. But I know this is really strong, and I feel pretty good. So I'm gonna go do some more wedges, more cutting. And if it doesn't go, then I at least know I can come down here and pull this more if I really need to, you know? So it's nice to have that peace of mind. I'm not just relying on my wedges, but I shouldn't have to come back down. But like I said, it's good to have options. So let's go do the back cut. Now let's get this tree on the ground. It's actually a really big stump. It's my 42-inch bar, and it's actually a little bit short. I'm gonna be short on the back cut here. I mean, my bar's already buried. All right, let's get this thing on the ground. Let's get out of here. This is 3 hours from my house. It's gonna be a long time to get here. This thing is like way more stubborn than I expected. I really expected this to go over easier. I hate to do this, but I gotta go down there, pull that rope a little bit. Wish me luck. All right, well, this is not where I wanted to end up, but you know, it could be worse. At least I've got a little bit of slack to work with. And that's all I got going for me. All right, this is scary, man. Okay. At least it's capturing my progress as I go. Dang it. So I'm not sure when my GoPro died, but well, here, this is really disappointing. Well, the tree's down. I didn't get it on film. I tell you what, you know, I don't even know if I'm gonna ever make this a video. This is just embarrassing. This was, oh my goodness, this was so bad. I did so, oh man. This tree leaned back so hard. I couldn't believe it. I messed with these wedges for like an hour and a half. I'm 3 hours from my home. I maxed out with the homeowner. I had the homeowner help me pull the line all the way, and then it maxed out the thing down there that I was showing you. You know how I was all like arrogant and smug at the beginning of this video? Oh, this is so easy. I had the customer help me. It could not get any tighter. I messed with these wedges forever. I even cut little pieces of wood to try to like stack the wedges on top of. Look, this is every wedge I had, except I had a few like single taper. I couldn't stack those. They weren't the right kind. Look how low I am. So remember, once again, I was like, oh, you're scribing a line. See, it's low. I'll go up a little bit. I don't know what I did. I stuck the saw back. Remember, I scribed the line, and I was like, oh, just scribing it. No, I'll cut a little higher. And somehow I got the saw back in the scribe, and I ended up, it's not that, it's low. It's low. I was so scared. I was like, man, I do not want to cut any more wood, and I'm glad I didn't. It's actually a pretty nice strip of hinge, but this tree was so deceptive. It leaned back so hard, and I used every one of those wood. I'm not kidding. It was like an hour and a half. I stopped filming with my phone. I literally called Gordy with West Coast Saw, and I was like, dude, I might need a tree jack, man. I got no more wedges. I might need to leave and go buy more wedges or put a tree jack on it. I've got a rope. It's maxed out. And I hung up the phone with him, said a prayer. I literally said a prayer, and dude, I found this wedge in my car on the floor of my car, and I was like, no way. And I came in here and I stuck it right here, and the tree went over. It just went over, and I wasn't using my phone. I didn't think it would work. I was like, well, I found one more wedge, and I put it in there, and it went over, and I just can't believe it. I could have cut more wood, but who knows if it fails and goes sideways or backwards. Dude, the rope was tight. This, that one's all buried in it's 48 inches in diameter. The customer measured it. So remember how confident I was in the beginning of the video? This was like, dude, the customer had their kids and they were all watching. They were excited, and then they had to like leave. This took me hours. I'm so embarrassed. But look how big this tree is. Jeez. Look how big this thing is. Dude, I could not believe how far back it leaned. But you know what, dude? The house, everything's fine. Dude, it went the right way by the grace of God. Literally by the grace of the Lord Almighty. I got that. So the tree's down. My stupid thing was, you know, so the system I showed you actually does work really well. The problem is that I stuck the rigging line just super low on the, dude. I should have used my longer rope and stuck the line higher in the tree, and then I would have had more leverage. But I was like, I want to use the static line because you get better pull with the static line. But because I had to go so short, I ended up losing a lot of leverage. And dude, we couldn't get the line any tighter. I'm just, oh man, I'm just, my first job with my own insurance. Nothing's damaged, but it was like the scaredest I've ever been. And I actually hit the GoPro that I had set up down here. And it's fine, but the battery had died. Because like I said, it was like an hour and a half of me messing with those wedges, trying to get them over. I just didn't have, I need to get more wedges. This was probably the most stressful tree job I've ever done. My first job of my own. Oh, I literally told the customers, I was like, maybe you should like take the kids and leave. Oh man. But I do promise the mechanical advantage thing does usually work if it's not just a gigantic tree leaning back super hard. I think it was those heavy limbs. I can't believe you know what it was? I told the customer, I was like, if I can just fall it, I'll do it for $500. If I have to climb it and piece it out, then it's $1,000. It's like 3 hours from my house. And they're like, cool. And I actually climbed the tree to set the line in it. And I should have just like pieced it all down, but I was like, no, that'll charge the customer too much money. I can fall it. And then I just destroyed their house. Trying to do it as cheap as possible. I'm just like, ugh. I'm like having so many emotions right now. I'm relieved that the tree's down. I'm bummed I didn't get any of it on footage. I'm super embarrassed. There was like a whole crowd of people here that came to watch this happen. And anyways, thanks for watching. That's a horrible video. Dude, look at this. Just look at all these wedges. Dude, this is what you got to keep in mind when you're watching my videos. If I'm doing tutorials and stuff, like, keep this in mind. Dude, I love tree work. I love climbing and cutting and pruning and rigging and, you know, felling. I'm just not good at it. Like, even after all these years, man, I just struggle so much. You know, in these videos, I'm just trying to share with you the stuff that I think is fun and neat and interesting. I love tree work, you know. But just, you know, if you think I'm telling you how to do something, you know, just picture this. There's my broken GoPro clamp. Just, you know, picture this. Look, I don't know what I'm doing, man. I'm just 12 years and I'm just still just winging it. I'm just really trying. But, you know, I just love sharing my passion for cutting trees. And I'm really trying to get better. But it's just so hard, you know? It's so hard to judge the weight. It's so hard to make these cuts line up. Look, I'm like a goofy curve there. I'm low here. I am happy I didn't cut any more holding wood. But look at the wedges, and I'm shoving wood in there too. Oh man, just when I do how-to videos, I'm just sharing the way that I do things and what I think is interesting. I never try to tell people how they should do stuff. I don't know the best way to do tree work. And that's largely why I'm trying to travel around and stuff too, because I'm just curious. I really like watching different people do tree work in different areas, you know? So for me, it's all about learning. I'm just trying to learn. I'm trying to sort of like share things as I go, because this is what I just love doing, you know? I just feel like I was like born to do this job, but I'm just not good at it. And so just, you know, keep that in mind. Sometimes guys, they compliment me a lot, and it's, you know, it's kind of nice to hear some people look up to me and stuff, but dude, I'm not the guy, you know. I'm just a guy trying to figure it out, you know. Don't idolize me too much, because like I said, I'm still trying to figure it out. I certainly don't like getting negative comments, you know, nobody does, but sometimes people will really like, they just really think I'm like the bee's knees, and I sort of struggle, like, you know, when I'm editing these videos, like, I don't want to bore you with having 20 minutes of pounding wedges in there, so I'll edit it down so it's like 10 seconds of wedging, or like cleaning up my face cut. I don't leave like the whole clip in there because it's boring to watch that long, you know. And so like I'll cut it up, and then people, they just assume that tree work comes easier for me than it actually does. They think that I'm just like banging out my face cuts really fast. They think I'm blowing through my back cut really fast, and I go back and forth side to side on the tree. I spend a lot of time cleaning up my face cut. The vast majority of the day is cut out of the video, you know. And so just keep that in mind. You're not watching the real world here, you know. You're watching, I'm trying to trick you into thinking that I'm like, you know, like really skilled at this, but you know, you got to keep that in mind. I'm cutting all the stuff that makes me look bad, like tripping and fumbling around, and I'm really rambling now. All this to say, don't believe everything that you see online, you know. All right, see ya. I'm done now.